guarded. At least some over here aren't letting Hydra have it all their own way. We'll update when I have more. Okay.
Hunter, hello.
He's what you call unreliable.
Carol Danvers, in brackets, this post is restricted to the Midnight Suns. Ilyana, I wanted to reach out and see how you were doing. Why? Question mark. I've dealt with creatures as powerful as Mephisto. I know it can leave some scars. I'm also aware you have history with him. It's not my business, and I'm not asking for details, but I can talk about it if you want to talk about it. I am fine. Sure, the war room is usually empty between 11 PM and 1 PM. I welcome any distraction from paperwork. I probably won't be there. Cool. But I might. Cool. Okay. Thanks.
Stop being so defensive and listen to us, Robbie.
We're just worried about you, that's all.
No need to be worried. I got this.
I don't think you fully understand what you're carrying. The parchment packs a lot of evil.
And what? You don't think I can handle it? I'll have you know that you aren't the only one who has a corner on controlling darkness. Just ask Sparky.
We're just concerned.
Concerned? You're starting to sound an awful lot like Caretaker, Nico.
Since when did you become such a jerk?
Since he started carrying that damn page, that's
Why
when...
don't you worry about yourself, Blade?
Whatever you say, Robbie. Why don't you go find Peter?
Well, maybe I will. I'm out.
Well, we tried.
The parchment of power is no joke. Then again, neither is Robbie. Let's just hope he's right and he can handle it.
Yeah, let's hope.
We'll talk to him in a second.
I took care of that for you.
I'm actually agreeing with you, Nico.
Wait, you're what?
You are asking a lot from Robbie. Maybe too much.
Warden War Room upgrade complete. Awesome.
Seems to me that he's risking himself all for destroying the parchment.
Ah, Hunter, good to see you.
Oh, you are gonna love this.
Forged in Hellfire completed. New forge upgrade available. We need more credits to do that.
How's it going, boss? What have you got for me, boss? I have high expectations. Sometimes, I even impress myself.
Good day, Hunter.
No pain, no gain.
New and improved.
Later.
Hey, can I ask a favor?
Steve Rogers looks you in the eye. Hunter, can I ask you something personal? Question mark. Do you have any childhood memories of Lilith? Question mark. Anything at all? Question mark. The person she was before she became the mother of monsters? Question mark.
Thanks, Hunter.
I brought Robbie popsicles to take his mind off things. Do you think the popsicles will melt when they get too close to his face?
There is a wholesomeness to you that is admirable.
You and my aunt would have so much to talk about.
He has a point there, to be fair.
Robbie's burden was great.
It's weird. I just felt this need to be out here.
Something about Jeremiah Kane's statue drew me. Guess it's that old spirit of vengeance connection, huh?
Like you, Kane carried more burdens than any one man should.
Yeah, so he knew how the big honor could also become a curse.
Do you feel like you have been cursed?
Absolutely. I mean, it's awesome to be one of the Midnight Suns and have the incredible responsibility of carrying the parchment of power. But it also really sucks.
If luck is with us, you will not have to carry the parchment for long.
I can carry it for as long as necessary. However long Blaze had it, I can keep it for as long or longer.
I did not mean to imply you did not have what it takes.
But I do have what it takes. And I don't need luck.
Blaze's betrayal probably soured your outlook.
About that. I keep thinking about what happened back in Limbo. Right before all the fighting broke out, when Blaze told me you were the key to the parchment, the prophecy, all of it. And that if we took you out, the world might survive.
Robbie.
I know what you're gonna say. Don't trust Blaze. I get it. Which is why I'm thinking I should read this parchment for myself and find out exactly what caused him to get so worked up about you.
The forces of the parchment and the Darkhold are not to be trifled with, Robbie. You cannot expect to read the page the way you would a normal book.
Oh boy, here we go. More of that. This is beyond you, Robbie. I've been hearing this junk since I asked to see my first R-rated movie as a kid. Guess what? I snuck into those movies, and I can sneak a peek at the parchment.
Trust me, this is not the same as childhood misbehavior. You are gambling not just with your life, but the lives of all of those who love you.
Fine, forget it. I'm not gonna read the page. Happy now?
I am relieved, yes. But what are you going to do instead?
I'm gonna do what I normally do. Sit and worry. And hope Stark hurries up with whatever he's building in the forge.
That may take a while.
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear you say that. After all this, I better get a statue of my own around.
All right.
Just tell me.
I already told you.
That was just a bunch of hocus-pocus mumbo-jumbo. Authored by the hand of a corrupted elder god, vile, unspeakable evil power contained within its pages. I get it. The Darkhold is bad. But I'm a scientist. I need facts, examples, highlights, lowlights.
Are you really asking me for a book report on the Darkhold?
I mean, I could just blast the page to smithereens without knowing the context, but understanding it is so much more interesting.
Context or no context, I'm still skeptical that your plan will actually work.
Well, okay, then share your deep insights with me, Dr. Spooky. Come on, spill the beans.
I have no beans to spill, Tony. I think I need some fresh air.
I guess you're wondering why Strange and I were getting into it.
I saw enough.
He gets so huffy and precious when it comes to his magic stuff. Everything has to be shrouded in mystery, like he's on stage in Vegas or something. I think he's afraid I'm going to turn around and become an even greater sorcerer than he is.
Well, Tony, you are a bit competitive. I would not blame him for becoming a bit territorial as a result.
Aw, there's nothing wrong with a little friendly competition, is there?
I do not think Strange sees it as friendly.
Well, when he comes back, I'll try to smile bigger. Maybe that'll give him a hint.
Surely there is a way for you both to work together in harmony.
Oh, you'll never catch us in the same barbershop quartet. But, given enough time, I'm sure I can reverse engineer an Elder God's programming language. Sure, you may not be able to understand what I'm saying, but that's not my problem.
So you think the Darkhold is no different from some fabulous bit of technology?
Oh, absolutely. And like any other fabulous bit of technology, it's only a matter of time before I figure out how to do what I want to do with it. Every problem has a solution, my resurrected friend. And I'm going to find it.
It will be a challenge, but I know you can handle it.
Well, you don't have to tell me twice. Actually, you can tell me several times. I'm such a shameless sucker for praise.
And what about Strange? Are you going to let him sulk?
Oh, I'll find Dr. Spooky later, and explain my position clearly. Make sure he understands.
It might help if you stop calling him Dr. Spooky.
Yeah, you're right. I should use his name. Stephen Spooky.
I give up.
Well, don't give up yet. You need to get the research going on the Gamma Accelerator. I've got the pieces and Dad's research, and I'm ready to go. I'm serious about getting the research started. Parchment isn't going to blow itself up.
Magic highlights, Tony. Here's your highlight.
Alright, looks like we need to get to level 8 for us to be able to do that. So we've got a good couple of missions to do.
Careful, Hunter. Punches are flying fast around here. I came out here to cool down. Carol kindly suggested I work out my frustrations on the punching bag. Her suggestion was wise.
I am afraid I know the source of your frustrations.
If you think this source has got salon-sculpted facial hair and an ego the size of Montana, then you are correct.
Surely you understand this is how Stark is with everyone else, do you not?
I understand it, intellectually. Yet the outrage still burns in my heart.
Fair. Just do us all a favor and try not to break his jaw, all right? We need him in one piece.
The problem with Tony is that he's too cavalier. I suppose that attitude has contributed to his success, but he can't do it with the arcane. It's a completely different realm. One that will deal him a brutal defeat if he doesn't change his ways.
You do not think he can destroy the Parchment of Power?
I don't think he understands just what the page represents. His whole life has been ones and zeros. The forces that shaped the Darkhold were powerful long before numbers or technology. They exist outside of the theory of relativity or quantum mechanics. They are elemental and esoteric as the rules of the dream space.
I hope the two of you can reach an understanding.
If he wants to work things out, he knows where to find me. Hopefully, my aggressions will have been worked out by then. That'll show him.
Okay, let's do a side mission. Okay.
Hydra has been collecting field data of some sort on a remote server nearby, and we have a chance here to look for ourselves.
Mother, protect us.
I believe Stark and Carol have done most of the legwork, but you still need to access those consoles to retrieve the data.
Roger that. Let's move.
Lilith has sent you here to die. I hope you are prepared.
Hail that!
I'm saving my energy. They won't know what hit him. That'll... Don't mind if I do.
You have earned this.
Hostile unit on the move.
That's not right.
Hydra en route.
Still coming this way. Your fate is sealed. I think you got him. Watch my back. Good looking at me. That's gonna leave a mark.
Let's see how tough you are.
Tracking multiple targets.
Hope they're ready. I don't think they even realize the trouble.
You've recovered the data. Excellent work out there.
Okay. Did quite well in that mission. Happy days.
Coming to book club tonight?
Meet you there.
Let's head over.
I like this book, but I can't explain why. Maybe I'll figure it out as we discuss it.
I should not be this nervous about what you all thought of the book. Even the best translations from Kree lose subtext.
Everyone's in a mood to mingle. Go ahead. We can start whenever. Ready to kick this off?
I am ready.
Carol, this was your book, so you can start.
I'll throw it back to you. What did you think of the book?
I had a rough time with it.
You didn't like it?
Didn't say that. At first I spent more time referencing the glossary than reading the book.
Sounds familiar. What changed?
I noticed a kind of rhythm to the words. I began to see them as lyrics to a song. All that dry talk faded and it finally came together. The lyrics made it feel much bigger than a chapter on Kree farming implements.
This book was about much more than farming.
Exactly. The rhythm to it helped paint a bigger picture. Once I caught on, I kept reading and didn't rely on the glossary. I picked everything up from context. That's when I realized none of this was about farming. I'm surprised how much stuck with me, despite some concepts being legit alien to me.
Agreed. For me, the rhythm wasn't lyrics. It was more like the book was written to a cadence.
That's why I had you read it on your Spark. The mnemonic lexicon won't work with a hard copy.
The what now?
An ancient Kree technique. It helps you remember text that would otherwise be considered... There's no Kree word for stuffy, but essentially that. But all that's packaging. Let's get into the book itself. Hunter, did you figure out what the bloom and the harvest represent?
The bloom represents the range of a fortress. The harvest happens when enemies enter that range.
That's one vital part. You're right, the bloom can represent overlapping fields of fire, but it's more than one concept. At the time of the book's writing, the Kree cared most about integrating captured territory while still expanding their empire. Conquered worlds came with people. Rather than treat them as prisoners, the Kree provided them with most benefits enjoyed by Kree citizens. This period is known as the cultivation.
So the bloom was when they gained full citizenship under their conquerors.
No, it's when the world requested it. As long as they could feed themselves with Kree farming techniques and defend their world with Kree defenses, the request was granted with few exceptions.
So what's the harvest?
As part of the service required by the Empire, many of these new citizens began the cultivation of freshly conquered worlds.
So they were living examples. Show the newly conquered what they could achieve if they went along with the Empire.
That's also how vampires work.
Carol, I think I pieced together the Kree strategy.
Do tell.
It's all tied to agriculture. Every soldier knows you can't fight if you can't eat, but they applied this to their expansion. Till the field, sow the seed, pull the weed, reap the crop. It means the Kree wouldn't advance until the territory they took was secure and productive.
If your enemy knows how you will act, they can prepare.
Certainly, for other spacefaring empires. But most worlds had no idea the Kree existed until the invasion was underway. But the Kree expansion had momentum. They could afford to push harder because their whole weight was behind the advance. Unless a world could push just as hard, it would eventually fall under Kree control. Carol, how was that?
Close enough to impress me. The strategy in Volume 32 wasn't perfect, but it worked out for the Kree far more often than it failed.
What happened when it failed?
That's covered in Volume 33.
And that's book club. Steve, you're up next. What's your book?
The Mantle of Authority, by General Chester Phillips.
Is this the one you keep saying I should read?
The very same. Now you have to. It's book club.
Before I forget, I asked Logan to join us next time.
He said yes?
He can read?
I hope you enjoy the book I chose.
Why do you say that?
It's about people who weren't around until after your death. But I'm sure you'll figure out the context.
So why choose this book?
Volume 30 was way too spicy for this crowd.
Go on.
I'm kidding. It's relevant to what we're facing today. Hydra, the Lilin, your mom, they seem to have the upper hand all over the world.
The Kree never conquered this planet. Neither will my mother.
Exactly. Reputation makes you seem bigger than you are. We can hit them anywhere at any time. You can bet this adds to our own reputation. And that's how we defeat our enemy. As long as we're still standing, they're gonna fall.
Absolutely.
Okay, just between us. Carol's book was extremely weird, right?
I learned a thing or two.
What, how to grow turnips on the moon?
That is harsh.
I didn't think it was that bad. But interstellar agriculture as a metaphor for planetary conquest, not what I expected.
You should be honest with Carol.
I'm always honest with Carol. But if I tell her it was a weird book, I'll sound like I don't know much about her adopted culture.
And how is that bad? You do not know, so this is the perfect opportunity to ask.
Good point. All right, I'll do it. Thanks, Hunter.
Good luck.
On your way out?
Yeah, I am done.
Righteous. Carol, I had some more thoughts on the book.
You do? You must have really liked it.
Actually, I didn't connect with it at all. That's what I wanted to talk to you about.
You didn't like it?
It's more that I didn't have the context. But you do, and you clearly like the book, so...
So...
I wanted to see it through your eyes. If you don't mind, I'd like that context.
I don't mind.
Okay, then.
Most of my time at Central is hurry up and wait. Stop by when I'm waiting. We'll talk.
I will.
Good?
Good.
Acunis ad sepulchrum.
Agatha, what are you doing?
Casting a protection spell over the Abbey. Now that we are in possession of the Parchment of Power, we must be vigilant in guarding against its influences.
What can I do to help?
You can't. This is a very rare form of sorcery, practiced only by those who have passed from this realm. But you can watch over the others. This spell will only prevent the worst type of harm the parchment can inflict, but can't stop it from making mischief completely.
Mischief? What sort of mischief?
There's no way of knowing for sure. But if there's one thing I am sure of, it's this. The words etched onto the page were written by Chthon himself. Not even my magic can silence them. They will affect us, if only in whispers. I mean, they're probably affecting us right here, right now, and won't stop. Not until Stark finally manages to nuke it from space.
Then there is hope.
There sure is. But until that happens, we need to protect ourselves. Speaking of, I should really finish this incantation. The spell cannot be completed without it.
I will leave you to it then.
Sleep well, Hunter. If you can.
Trapped February 18th, 1692. All went black. The collapse snuffed out the little bit of light that shone from the moon above. We were trapped, our only way out buried beneath scores of rock. There were no other passages out, and we had no tools with which to dig. Our sanctuary had become our tomb. We had so little with us, only scant bits of bread and a little water. It would not last long, maybe a week at best. It would have been a kinder death to have stood before the hanging tree and made our peace before the Almighty himself.
The Hellride is ready and waiting.
Tension's so thick I could claw it to shreds.
I've been here for such a short time, and I feel like this is a better education than I'm receiving at Empire State.
You attend school?
Yeah, grad school. But I meant all the superhero stuff. Before this, I've had to figure out everything on my own. Here, I have access to 2 whole superhero teams, each with their own way of doing things. It's eye-opening.
You are teaching all of us a few new tricks.
And some better smack talk. But that's no superpower. It's mostly Queens. So what's your preference? I heard you spent much of your life working solo. Is the team cramping your style?
I cannot expect the team to always be there, but I need to support them when they are around.
See, that's what I'm trying to do. Shore up the team when they need it. And do my own thing when they don't. You want to figure it out together? Let me know the next time you train.
Sounds good.
Great. Just, not an hour before dawn. As he puts it, that's blade time in the yard.
I can't wait till we do this again.
Something, or someone, is going to snap. Did you hear Tony and Strange arguing? Who's next? Parker and Nico? Seen good troops lose their minds not knowing if a tank was going to mortar their bunkers, but seen seasoned, enhanced heroes walking on eggshells is a new kind of unsettling.
What, no stars and stripes hoorah pep talk from Captain America? It must be bad.
We lived with the dread, channeled the tension. This feels different. Lilith's got too many tricks we haven't seen.
Tricks like mind control? We call that Tuesday at Xavier's School for the Gifted. I got a gut feeling that what's gonna come is gonna be more gnarly than usual. That I'll even be surprised. I'd even go so far to start taking bets. But that's too grim. Even for me.
Fair enough. Round 700, 555. Let's see if see if we can beat it this time.
That is something.
Hypus was among the first of the Elder Gods born at the dawn of our world. Fortunately for him, he was also the first among them to die.
How does an Elder God die?
He was killed by another Elder God. In this case, his own brother.
Lovely.
To get on my bad side.
By such a power, but also triggered the downfall of the Elder Gods, as they turned on one another and became demons.
You had your chance to escape. Some for the rest of us. Blade told me.
I mentioned during the last one, after the Elder Gods corrupted, a tomb was born and sent to destroy them. When it was done, it released it to the stars.
And now they watch in silence from above while I fight for their amusement.
Who am I to speculate on their intentions? So far, I'd say things have worked out to your benefit.
I see not much has changed among the world's fanatics.
After this, you should be prepared for what Lilith has planned in the coming days.
I saw a move like that once, centuries ago. You were too weak for this fight. Now that was something.
Fuck me, guys.
I'm sure Hippis will be pleased. You've proven yourself more than capable.
There we go. Only took about 10 decades to do, but we did it. Okay. Fuck me, it took so long to complete this mission.
This looks like
Trophy earned. Hypus Aid. Word of power, the aid of Hypus restores both natural and unnatural forms to their previous states. Using Purify allows you to turn back the years by imbuing life with a mere gesture. Alright.
Hippus will provide. Hippus brings renewal. Hippus does not seem to agree. The goddess disagrees. All will be restored. Blessings of Hippus. He is in agreement. There is only so much Hippus can do. Perhaps I ask too much of him. gods are fickle. Autumn must not see it that way. If his help was warranted, Hippus would provide. The god's latest gift seems to be quite powerful. I've already removed a great deal of corruption afflicting the grounds nearby.
I've noticed. I take it that means the latest trial wasn't much of an obstacle for our legendary hunter and their faithful companion.
We were ready for what awaited us.
The power of renewal is indeed a remarkable thing, especially when facing such an insidious problem.
But how did this corruption come to spread across the grounds in the first place?
I mentioned before that Wanda had visions after absorbing the power of the moon seal at my altar. But it's obvious now I didn't truly understand the depths of what she was experiencing.
What do you think really happened here?
I've told you that Wanda wasn't a descendant of the blood. In truth, her magic was born in chaos, from the touch of the dark god Chthon himself. I fear this connection between them was even stronger than I imagined.
She cannot be blamed for something out of her control.
Of course not. Just look at the group we have working with us here. Everyone deserves a chance to prove who they really are.
It is done now in any case. We can only move forward from here.
Renewing the grounds is already an important step forward for us.
Wanda's visions, were they part of her ties to Chthon? Do you know what it is she saw?
She described them like a dream. Broken, distorted images that she could only remember in passing. But you're right, Hunter. I believe now it was Chthon who came to her, his influence strengthened by the power of the seal she absorbed.
And the corruption on the grounds, this was his influence?
It seems almost too clear now. The corruption on the grounds returned just as Wanda's explorations reached their peak.
Was there nothing in her journal about this?
Maybe we've gotten ahead of her. I should return to the library and continue the translations. Come by tomorrow and I'll let you know if I've found anything new.
Alright, that's our third area opened up. Now we've got one more power to evidently discover.
That is something.
The water here should be safe now.
Chofien, the Keymaster.
He is in agreement. He hears me, but has no answers. All will be restored.
Salem Coven member, skull of Elizabeth Smith, another victim of the trials in Old Salem. Or Salem, should I say.
Hippus will provide.
Arcana level up to 5.
What is this?
Seal fragment.
Looks like a fragment of a moon seal.
Hunter's Journal, August 14th, 1710. Sarah is not my mother and she never will be, yet she treats me like a child and I can hardly stand it. When my power grows, Agatha tries to help me learn to manage it. She has taught me spells to protect myself and those I love, but Sarah just makes me feel guilty and afraid. Why should I fear something that comes so natural to my body as breathing? ? Birds do not fear the power of flight, and a bear would never apologize for its teeth. Why should I hold back? ? Lilith's Journal, April 14th, 1694. I want nothing more than to frolic and shout with excitement. Gregor and I have married. Sorrow would tell me it's unbecoming to show so much excitement over a mortal pleasure, but I am so very much in love. I haven't told her yet. She thinks that my time away from the Abbey these last few days has been to track Hiram Shaw's movements as he seeks out the Darkhold. But no, Gregor and I escaped to hold a private wedding ceremony and celebrate the good fortune that we found one another. I do suppose I should share the news with my sister soon, though.
Hippus does not seem to agree. Blessings of Hippus.
Salem Coven member. Skull of Martha Richards. A skull still glowing with the essence of magic. Lilith's Garden. Mystery. Okay, we'll go there in a second.
She believes in our purpose.
The lovers, Elektra and Daredevil, lock hands and close their eyes, savouring a moment together. Though their weapons are close at hand, this card represents communication and trust, especially in a partnership. Lilith's Journal, November 17th, 1694. Oh gods, I know what I am about to attempt here, and I am overcome with shame. But what if it works? Question mark. What if I can undo everything? Question mark. I just want to hold my child. I want to hear the babe's sweet cry. The Dream of Inus, or Aeneas.
Another moon seal fragment. What is this doing here?
Garden of Envy. Alright. That doesn't do anything.
Perhaps I ask too much of him.
Okay, let's go over here. Solemn Coven member, Skull of Sarah Ho, or How. The glowing rune inscribed in the skull is a sign of witchcraft. New Haven discovered the scenic folly.
Autumn thinks otherwise. There must not be anything here. The son of Gaia approves.
Very nice. Very nice. Assuming we can't go that way. Okay. Speak to you in a second. Wanda's Journal, April 14th, 2020. I can't believe the beauty of this greenhouse. It's overgrown, I know, but I can tell what was here once. Long ago, when it was tended with love and care. I'm getting distracted. Focus, Wanda. The folly here is going to be a clue. I know it. I've been trying to figure out how I can get inside, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure just yet. Agatha will be here any minute, and I hope she has an idea for how we can break in. Caretaker's Journal, February 14th, 1708. It is a cold late afternoon as I sit down to write today. A storm has all of us trapped inside the Abbey this day, and the snow falls heavier than I have seen in many years. It has brought a quiet to the afternoon that I cannot help but cherish. Nary a day passes without looking behind us, waiting for what we know is to come any moment, and yet this peace that I find with Agatha by my side gratifies me. She is good-natured, and there are fleeting moments where I can forget our difficulties and nearly let myself feel happy. I cannot help it. I cling to these moments, but I know they are just moments, and soon we will have to face our greatest enemy once again. I can't let myself become distracted as Lilith did. And we got a black grimoire. Collection complete. Caretaker's Journal, pages from Caretaker's Journal. Happy days. Alright, let's speak to Agatha first.
You've almost retraced Wanda's steps, Hunter. Which means it's probably time I was honest with you. Things got a bit messy at this point. It was here that Wanda hit a wall. In the literal sense. The gates sealing off your mother's garden seemed all but impervious to any attempt we made at opening them.
You would not have given up that easily.
Of course not. Wanda was hesitant, but I was emboldened by just how close she had come to succeeding. I strongly encouraged her to keep trying. If I had only stopped to consider the risks. But no. With my guidance, she attempted to use the moon seal from Set's trial to force open the gate.
You were only trying to encourage Wanda's growth.
That may be, but there were other ways I could have helped her.
So what did happen?
Without the word of power, Set's blessing, Wanda couldn't control the energy within the seal. It responded like these things often do. It exploded.
But the gate did not open?
No, it didn't. And as an unfortunate side effect of the blast, I was killed.
That was the training accident with Wanda?
A surprisingly level-headed explanation from the poor girl, considering what she had just witnessed. I was still out of my senses, but that's a story for another time.
You died. Wanda was left traumatized, only to be blamed by Caretaker and left without anyone to support her?
I said things got messy. Perhaps I should have said heartbreaking. In either case, now you know the truth.
But what about Sarah and the others? They need to know as well.
Given my current situation, I think it may have to wait, dear. If you'd still like to move forward, you'll need to find the shards of the broken moon seal. If all goes well, I should be able to reform the seal.
I believe I have found some pieces already.
Of course you have. There is one more piece left to find.
Mother.
Statue of Lilith. The statue stone eyes are almost as cold as the real thing. Let's see.
He hears me, but has no answer. If his help was warranted, Hippus would provide.
So we've got 2 of the shard. And where the 3rd piece is.
Autumn reveals all.
The Chariot. The Silver Surfer holds a strong balance on his board as he races onward, leaving a spiral of power in his wake. This card represents determination and control and facing obstacles head on. Where's this 3rd piece of shard?
Autumn, show me. Must not be her purpose. The goddess must be busy. There is only so much Hippus can do. Perhaps I ask too much of him. If it was here, Autumn would show me.
Where is this shard? I wonder.
She does not see it happening. Autumn does not answer. There is only so much Hippus can do. Hippus does not seem to agree. There must not be anything here. He hears me, but has no answers. Fascinating. Hippus brings renewal.
There it is.
This looks like one of the shards that Agatha asked me to find.
Happy days. Guessing we have to travel back to the Abbey. Okie dokie.
Tension's so thick I could climb.
I knew you'd recover the shards if you put your mind to it, but that was still faster than I expected. I better get to work then. I'm confident I can return the Moon Seal to its former glory, but I'll have to send you on another errand. I need a particular flower to serve as the reagent for this ritual. It shouldn't be too hard to find. It grows right in front of my old cabin. While you gather that, I'll make the rest of the preparations.
What is this strange growth on the grounds?
While it may seem like some sort of invasive species, the substance we've been calling corruption is actually a physical manifestation of Chthon's dark influence.
How can it continue to spread in his absence?
The ever-resilient Darkhold keeps his ambitions alive, tempting the lost and desperate towards the darkness. With each new follower, his power here is rekindled.
Find reagents.
Hey.
This must be the reagent that Agatha needs to restore the seal. I have found the reagent.
So you have. Let's not waste any more time. For this to work, we'll need the elemental altar. Come with me. This is it, Hunter. Once I've reforged the seal, you can face the final trial. I'm sure Set is eagerly awaiting your arrival.
It has been a long road to reach this point.
Lucky for you, the ritual won't take more than a moment. I just need to say the magic words. Abracadabra. Just kidding, dear.
I'm glad to know your situation did nothing to dampen your sense of humor.
Sarah is salty enough for the both of us. I like to keep things in balance. Now, let's get you a moon seal. I just hope Set doesn't mind a bit of refurbishment.
I will find out soon enough.
Just remember, Hunter, the answers we seek are almost within your grasp. Stay the course.
Let's go for the trial.
Set's challenge will be the hardest. Are you ready?
I am ready. Where Wanda failed, I will succeed.
That's my Hunter. Good luck, dear.
Ominous indeed.
Let's go. With the recommended player level being 16, I should do this.
If you remember from the last trial, I told you that Hippus was consumed by his brother Set, who absorbed his power. It was this betrayal that showed the Elder Gods, including Chthon, the path towards their own corruption.
Leave some for the rest of us. Now that was something. The mother of demons will be your undoing.
I don't think we'll be seeing any Serpent Men, but in his heyday, Set created his own personal army, much like Lilith and her children. They seem to have an unusual fascination with Earth's various reptile species.
Mine. Too weak for this fight. Maybe you do not realize the trouble. Our resolve cannot be broken.
If you believe everything an old witch will tell you, descended upon the earth, he used the prevailing reptiles of the time, dinosaurs, to create his physical form.
I saw a move like that once, centuries ago. No mercy for the servants of Lilith. Your mother abandoned you. Let us see if they have an answer for this. That was your one chance.
Unfortunately for those lumbering beasts, when autumn came to destroy Seth, it lasted for thousands of years and drove them to extinction alongside their fallen admirer.
The untold price of being favored. They cannot possibly match your strength. I am impressed. You have my thanks.
I wouldn't go so far as to say Set is pleased, but I'm sure you've piqued his interest.
Alright, first time round. Happy days, we've completed all our challenges. I'm happy with that one.
This looks like a
Trophy earned, Set's favour. Word of power. With Set's favour, physical barriers that stand in your way will be torn down. Walls, barricades and other natural obstructions shatter before the power of break. Awesome.
Break the wall, Hunter. I will be right here. After.
Okay, we're gonna do that in a second.
Nothing can stand in his way.
Let's find out what happens.
Set regards no obstacles.
Lilith's Journal, July 9th, 1610. My sister tells me that it can be helpful to ink one's thoughts onto page. That this is how she sorts through the chaos in her mind, and that it may help me as well. But what do I say here? Question mark. Is this the appropriate space to direct my yearnings for a normal life? Question mark. Every time that I pass through East Transia to visit the markets, I envy the men and women living in complete ignorance of the supernatural swirling around them. The greatest threat is whether or not they can supply and sell enough goods. I spend my days and nights plagued with nightmares of the darkest evils. Lilith's Journal, July 13, 1689. What a remarkable day. We received correspondence from America, specifically a small town called Salem. While it is a tragedy what these witches are enduring, a madman that calls himself Hiram Shaw appears to be causing quite a stir among the magically gifted. Sarah has a great plan to help them. We've sent the Knights of Wondergore off to provide them a moon seal. If only I could have gone myself, if only just to experience something new. Lilith's Journal, October 13th, 1691. Shaw has increased his efforts as of late, and his cruelty makes my heart ache. To hang or burn another human being, perhaps this is what Sarah wanted to shield me from all those years ago. Where I saw mortal joys, she could only see the darkness. I am grateful for the men and women of this town that reject Shaw's cruelty, and I do think that I have found some friends. Lilith's Journal, November 24th, 1689. Sarah and I have done something truly amazing. We have moved the Abbey from Transia to a town called Salem in North America. To move something of that size and history across seas, I honestly wasn't sure it was even possible. And yet here we are, no longer hiding in the shadows of the Wundagore Mountain. I'm optimistic. I know we still have work to do here, but I can't help my curiosity. It's so completely different here, many new people to meet and learn from. My sister tells me that my spirit is too free, but I simply don't think that is possible. Lilith's Journal, June 28th, 1689. I spend too much time wondering about mortal life. At least that is what Sarah tells me. What is it like to fall in love, grow a family, and enjoy carefree afternoons in the country, watching the children bound through the fields? ? Simpler that I know for certain. Sarah and I spend our days and nights doing our sacred duties as blood descendants, and she tells me that I should be proud of our work to keep the people of this world safe, to enjoy their simpler lives. But what if I want to live a simple life? ? What if could I? ?
Set revels in his blessing.
So if you earned a mother's gift.
Sarah?
Of all the things you weren't expecting, finding me here had to be near the top of the list.
Have you been following me?
On the contrary, kiddo, I think it's you that's been following in my footsteps. Speaking of which, have you been enjoying the trials? I'm not sure how you found your way down that path, but you've obviously impressed the gods, just like your mother and I did.
You are being much calmer than I expected about all this.
You aren't the first member of your family to sneak away and attempt the trials. I remember raising more than a few eyebrows on my run.
This from the favored daughter of Oshter?
I always respected Oshter, especially compared to some of her siblings.
And my mother?
I think she saw something of herself in Autumn, but she was never one to flatter the gods.
She seems to have no issue kneeling to Cathan.
Is that really what you believe, Hunter?
I cannot say.
At least you've kept an open mind. I'm not sure I would have.
I have tried to remain neutral until I know more.
If you've come this far, then there's really no point in hiding it anymore.
This place, sealed and hidden away beneath my mother's garden. This was you again. Something else you wanted to lock away.
Would you believe it's because I've been a stubborn old woman for far too many centuries?
Yes.
This may be difficult to understand, given what you've been told, how you were raised. But your mother isn't the bastion of evil the world knows her to be.
Yes, I know she was not the mother of demons when she was with my father.
There's more to it than that. I told you of her work to find a cure for his illness. There was nothing she could do, and when he passed, she accepted his fate. But then, the corruption came for you.
I was sick? I do not remember that at all.
I'm not surprised, given the cure. You were so young, so vulnerable. Lilith was inconsolable. If she had been desperate to heal your father, she was now completely unhinged when it came to curing you.
But she did find a way.
We had thought to bury it in this place forever, safe from not just the greedy eyes of petty men like Shaw, but from ourselves.
The Darkhold.
Yes, and sensing your mother's desperation, the damn thing called out to her. There within its pages, Lilith found a way to protect her child. Straight from the Great Shadow himself, Cathan. And as payment, she pledged her eternal devotion to him. reborn as the mother of demons.
She gave herself to Chthon for me.
You were her only child, and she loved you more than anything else in this world. In her mind, it was no sacrifice at all. You were all that mattered.
You still let me believe she was a monster.
For your protection, I only let you see her as she is now.
But what she became...
What she became, I barely recognized. She may have been your mother, but there was no way she could be your mother ever again.
And so you cast her out?
She was weakened from the transition. Some part of her soul still struggling with the corruption infecting her, I suppose. I knew I would only have the moment, and so I struck, drove her from the Abbey. From you. It was the only way I could protect you. In my mind and in my heart, I believed that the Lilith I knew would have done the same.
But then she came back.
Yes, it took her years, but she finally returned. Of course, by then, she had become something far different. The rest, as you know, is history. Until now. I thought by sealing this place, by avoiding the truth, that it would somehow make all of this easier. But I also knew someday we would have this conversation.
You were trying to protect me. As you always do.
You've made this easier on me than it should be, kiddo. But I can't say I'm not glad that you still believe in me.
We can only move forward from here. We've spent enough time wading through the past.
You'll get no argument from me there.
Annihilation heroic. Consume all heroism to damage each enemy in an area.
Hi, kiddo.
I hadn't intended on eavesdropping, dear, but I couldn't help but overhear your conversation with Sarah.
Did you know about my mother?
Sarah was never any more forthcoming about Lilith with me than she has been with you. She must have felt it was safer to keep both of us in the dark.
At the cost of a great deal of pain and suffering.
You don't have to tell me, dear. Had I known what Sarah was hiding, maybe I wouldn't have pushed Wanda as hard as I did.
And to say nothing of what this did to you?
It may sound ridiculous, but if someone had to end up this way, I'm glad it was me. Can you imagine what a nightmare Sarah would be as a poltergeist?
That is true. We may have had another terrorist stalking the grounds had things gone differently.
And despite everything, I have to say, I'm glad we were able to spend this bit of extra time together, Hunter.
I enjoyed it too, Agatha.
I'm glad, dear. But there are still more secrets to discover, if you're interested.
More still? How will I know where to find them?
Oh, I'd say some combination of dumb luck and persistence? But in all seriousness, with Set's blessing, you'll be able to break down all sorts of things, I imagine. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Just have fun, dear.
See what leads us down here.
Father of Serpents is smiling.
The Shady Trail, New Haven discovered. Stone Pyramid Mystery.
That is something.
Black Pyramid of Arcane Stone crafted by the Sisters of the Coven. I have a feeling we need to find one more skull to be able to unlock that. By the way the skulls are placed. Journal of Hiram Shaw, July 29th, 1692. I am pleased to admit that the Coven has been eliminated. Deemed guilty by myself and my congregation, we did what was necessary to pave the way for a brighter future. Now I must turn my attentions to the woman of that cursed Transian Abbey. Perhaps there is a chance that I could draw Lilith out and share my truth. If there is any chance to that, she would listen. I must try. The Devil. Damon Hellstrom is a vision of power as he stands before flames, hungrily grinning at a chest of unknown treasures. This card represents the ego and greed as well as temptation.
Set is in good humor today. Autumn, show me this. Set is in good humor today.
Obsidian Athame. Select a hero, don't discard the next played hero card. Discard the rest of your hand instead. Awesome.
Nothing can stand in his way.
The Flower Girl.
The Son of God approves. The Father of Serpents is smiling.
Devil's Den. Interesting. There is Margaret Adams. Salem Coven member Skull of Margaret Adams. Her powers still felt even today. Lilith's Journal, November 4th, 1694. Without Gregor, I am empty. What is the purpose in fighting against evil when something so simple as sickness can take away my only joy in this world? Question mark. I worry that I could lose the child that I carry within my womb. So many lives lost in the village, so little hope to be found. Hiram Shaw and a select few of his followers appear to be immune, or perhaps he is the one that has been released or has realized this sentence upon the people of Salem. Salem Coven member. Skull of Ann Stevens, another member of the Salem Coven.
Final resting place of Yelena Nikovic. She was accused of sorcery as a child and left to fend for herself. A familiar story.
Hunter's Journal, September 23rd, 1710. I've warmed to the collar that I wear. Sarah and Agatha have taught me how to use it as a channel, a means to harness the wilderness of my powers into something controlled, something that I can really put to use. It feels like my lessons have shifted, no more hypotheticals or talking through scenarios, but instead more practical training, sparring even. There is a brief look of surprise on Sarah's face whenever I best her, and I savour those moments, though they are rare for now. New Haven discovered the desolate crags. Lilith's Journal, November 13th, 1694. I could take it no longer, and I fled into the night to confront Shaw. He has been sealed away forever. If there was a man inside of him once, it was no longer. The Darkhold took away any humanity that had remained long ago, and now I have it. I have this cursed scroll. If only I had moved quicker on him, my dear Gregor would still... Perhaps there may be an answer here within this powerful page. Perhaps there may be some good that could come of this power. Salem Coven member, Skull of May Richards, power still flows through this skull. Bones of the dead, skulls belonging to members of the Salem Coven. Awesome. Lilith's Journal, November 14th, 1694. I fear I will lose this baby. I find myself in this dark chamber beneath ground, unable to fight away the sickness that ravages my body. I thought that I could find hope within the Darkhold's magic, but I worry it is too late for me, for my child. Could there be a future where we see the light again? Question mark. And we got a Diviner's Journal recipe book. Still life with a skull and a writing quill. That's like artwork again. Journal of Hiram Shaw, April 16th, 1689. I will admit that I was fearful when the idea first came to me, but with Chiton's gentle push I knew that it was the right thing to do. So I have designated a hanging tree to those, or for those that seek to oppose us. There's only room in Salem for those seeking the truth, those who are good and those who listen carefully to what I share. We cannot tolerate those afflicted with darkness, and they must be purged.
Set is a temperamental god.
Well, we've done this puzzle anyway.
Curious.
What do we do with this?
Set has decided not to. If his help was warranted, Hippus would provide. The goddess disagrees.
How do we do the stone pyramid puzzle? Because I'm assuming we gathered all the skulls. Okay. Use the word reveal apparently. Awesome. So I think this area is 100% completed.
Set must not be listening today. If it were meant to be broken, Set would gladly assist.
Okay. So I think we have completed that area now.